Mr. President, today, as they do every year at this time, tens of thousands of Americans from across the country, including from my home state of South Dakota, will march from the National Mall to the United States Supreme Court to stand up for the right to life. The march is always inspiring. The huge crowds who come year after year, the commitment and enthusiasm of the participants, and most of all, Mr. President, the young people, teenagers, college students, young adults. Abortion has been an ugly scar on our nation for a long while now. But seeing all these young people at the March for Life every year fills me with hope, because I know that these young people get it. They know that life matters, and they're ready and willing to stand up and say that. To stand up for the hundreds of thousands of unborn Americans who are killed every year in this country by abortion. Mr. President, this year I hope to see Congress consider the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act. This legislation would protect unborn children who have reached the age of 20 weeks, that's 5 months of pregnancy, from being killed by abortion. Right now, there are only 7 countries in the world that allow elective abortion after 20 weeks of pregnancy. 7 countries in the world. And among those countries are China, North Korea, and the United States of America. Well, I'd like to suggest, Mr. President, that that's not the company that Americans want to be keeping when it comes to protecting human rights. Mr. President, 63% of the American people support a ban on abortion after 20 weeks of pregnancy. And that doesn't surprise me. Take a look at a 5-month-old unborn baby on an ultrasound. It's pretty darn obvious that that's a human being in there. And I think most people instinctively know that human beings, no matter how small they are worthy of protection. Mr. President, 5 months into a pregnancy, babies are doing a lot. They're sucking their thumbs. They're yawning and stretching. They're actively moving around. They're responding to noises. And they feel and respond to pain. The scientific evidence on this point is clear. 5 months into a pregnancy, unborn babies feel pain. And yet, Mr. President, in our country, it's legal to abort these babies. And the procedures used to perform these abortions are so brutal and inhuman that it's difficult to even talk about them. Most Americans would rightly shrink from treating an animal the way that we treat unborn human beings. Mr. President, every year there are hundreds of thousands of abortions in this country. Planned Parenthood reports that it performed 321,384 abortions in 2016. That number is so large that it's hard to fathom. And to put that into some kind of perspective, that's equivalent to more than 1/3 of the population of my home state of South Dakota. Unfortunately, the Pain-Capable Unborn Child Protection Act would not eliminate all of these abortions. But, Mr. President, it would make a difference. And it would bring us one step closer to the day when every child born and unborn is protected in law. To all those who are marching for life today, thank you for being here. Thank you for reminding all of us about an injustice that it's all too easy for us to ignore. Thank you for standing up for all those babies. The fight may be long, but I know that at the end of the day, it is life that will win. Mr. President, I yield the floor and suggest the absence of a quorum.